There are many to-do apps to choose from, and if you're looking for a new tool to manage your tasks, I'm here to help. I've tested almost all the popular task apps, from the famous ones to the new and upcoming apps you might not know about. I've included timestamps so you can skip to the part you want to see depending on how you want to manage your tasks. Whether you prefer a simple checklist, a calendar, Kanban board, Eisenhower Matrix, or something else, I got you covered. If you already have a favorite method, feel free to skip the parts you don't want to see. If not, keep watching. Alright, a simple checklist is often enough for most people to get to-dos out of their heads and get them done. And you can do some effective productivity methods like GTD. Here's a list of great checklist/to-do list apps. First of all, let's talk about free apps, because there are some pretty good ones. Microsoft To Do and Google Tasks are probably the most basic ones, and they're very similar. It really depends on whether you use Microsoft Outlook or Gmail. If you use Outlook, you can link it to your Microsoft To Do account to sync with your Outlook tasks. But if you use Gmail, it'll make more sense to use Google Tasks because it integrates well with other Google services. These apps are pretty simple and you can start using them right away without having to learn how to use them. They come with basic features like creating and organizing lists, setting due dates and reminders, and sharing lists with other people. These are probably just what you need to be productive. Todoist is one of the most popular to-do apps and has a few more features than these two, although you may have to pay to use some of them. For example, in Todoist, you can set productivity goals. Say you want to complete 7 tasks in a day. You can set this as a goal and see the progress, which can be, motivating for some people. And another big difference is the labels. Labels are like tags. It's useful when you want to organize your tasks into different categories. By doing so, you can find the tasks that you want to do quickly. For instance, if you want to find urgent tasks, you can filter with the urgent label. So if you're someone who has to juggle multiple projects in different areas of your life, labels can be really useful. But if you don't want to complicate things, then you can stick to the other two. Alternatively, the default reminders app is actually great too. I'm looking at the iOS reminders app and the Android default reminders app, but they seem decent and maybe as good as those apps we just saw. The iOS reminders app is actually great, and I use it often to share to-dos with my friends and family. And combined with the Note app on iOS, it's probably more than enough for most people. But if you want to upgrade the iOS reminders app, you should try Good Task, which is built on top of the reminders app. It's actually one of my favorite task apps on this list because it's got a beautiful design and lots of features. You can create a smart list to automatically group tasks into different categories like high priorities, overdue, recent, and later. Plus, it has this tab where you can set your goals for the month, year, and life in general. I like this because it's easy to forget your long-term goals when using a typical to-do app. And you can get the full version with a one-time purchase, which is only about like $15. So there are no subscription fees, which is great. Unfortunately though, it's only available for iOS, obviously. So if you're an Android user and want a free similar option, TODO is great. TODO has been around for a while, and I actually used to use it when I was in university. Of course, it's got essential features like inbox, smart lists, alarms, and repeated tasks. But what I really like is its design and UX. It's such a pleasant experience to use this app. The animation is so fluid and the UI is intuitive. Also, almost all the features are free. I think the only thing you have to pay for is the email to to-do feature, which lets you create a task via email. But I don't think many people would need that. So I'd say this is a free to-do app. And then there are hundreds of other to-do list apps that are not free, but some of the most popular ones are Remember the Milk, OmniFocus, To-Do, and Things. Remember the Milk is classic one. Lots of people still love using it. Unlike To-Do, you have to pay around $40 a year to use some features like reminders, colored tags, and sync with Outlook, but it is great if you need to collaborate with other people and have a shared to-do list and project, because it makes it easy to assign tasks to others and see the ones that are given to you. But if you mostly work by yourself, I'd choose To-Do or other apps, to be honest. OmniFocus is another to-do list app with a slick UI. It looks super nice, but other than the design, there are a few cool things about it. One is Forecast, which gives you an overview of your week. It's really useful when making a plan. Another unique thing is Review, where you can see the list of the project you have and check each status. So if you're working on one project, you can change the status to active. And if you want to focus on that one alone, you can put the other project on hold or even drop them. I like this because it encourages you to be always on top of what's on your plate and to remember your long-term goals. But unlike other to-do apps, it's relatively more expensive. It costs about $10 a month and it's only available for iOS. TODO is a beautiful to-do app that I discovered recently. I know it's confusing, but different spell. Design-wise, it stands out a lot. No other task apps have a UI like this. It's a simple to-do list app, really, but I can see such a polish. You can create a new task and then put it into different lists, like someday, groceries, and ideas, which I know is basic, but the design makes it fun to use. But as far as I can see, it doesn't have some essential features like reminders and tags. So if you just need simple but beautiful to-do lists, this might be the one. Finally, in this category, the next one is arguably the best one. It's Things. It's pretty much got everything as a great to-do app. It looks amazing, it's simple and easy to use, got essential features, and it's affordable. The only con is that it's only for iOS. I hadn't used it for a long time, but I was surprised at how much improvement they made, especially in terms of the user experience. Every little detail, like the animation when you click on something, is well thought out. It makes using it so delightful. Especially I love this little circle that shows your progress on the project. It's very satisfying to see it's becoming full as you complete more tasks. Another nice touch is being able to see a deadline for a project, which sounds like an obvious thing to have, but not many to-do apps do. This creates a sense of urgency and encourages you to actually work on the project rather than postponing it. But the best thing is that it doesn't have subscription fees. It's just a one-time purchase of like $15, which feels insanely cheap for what you get. But again, it's a shame it's only available for iOS. For some people, a simple to-do list is not enough. Along with a to-do list, they want a calendar so they can schedule their day. I'm actually one of them. I like the idea of planning my day and week in advance. There are many great planner apps like that. The first one is Structured. In my opinion, this one has the best design among the other planner apps. Like a normal to-do app, it has an inbox where you can dump things to do, but also it got this calendar view where you can schedule your day. The idea is simple, but the UI makes it intuitive to use and clear how much time you have for the day. I love they have hundreds of icons for tasks. This way it's easy to recognize what each event and task is about. But the only issue I have with this app is that there's no place to see your overdue tasks. So if you couldn't finish some to-dos yesterday, it's just going to stay there and it's very easy to forget them. So you have to manually move them to another day, which is tedious. It's only $10 a year though, so it's super affordable. Another great planner app is Amplenote. This is actually the one I've been using for the last 3 years. It's like Amplenote with extra features. It's great because it has a to-do list, calendar view, and notes. You can create a new note for your project or just a simple grocery list, then make a to-do list there, and switch to the calendar mode to schedule the tasks you just created. It works pretty well, and for me, it's the easiest workflow to plan my day and week. You can keep it as simple as that, but also can build a complex, advanced system if you wanted. And this is all free. It does have some paid plans, but almost all the features are free, so it's great. Alright, Akiflow is kind of a special planner app because it's not a simple to-do or a calendar app, but a central hub for all of your productivity tools. It lets you connect to other apps like Slack, Gmail, Trello, Todoist, and Notion, and manage all the to-dos in one place. For example, if you have an email that you need to reply to later, you can create a task in Akiflow that is directly linked to that email. This is so useful because I tend to forget to reply to some emails, and Slack messages are even easier to miss and forget. On top of that, it has all the essential features for a to-do and planner app like inbox, calendar, labels, and tags. And they recently added availability sharing, which lets you generate booking links you can share with other people so you can arrange meetings more easily. It seems like Akiflow is on the way to becoming the ultimate productivity tool. But the only issue, for now, is that their mobile app is still in development, so it's not officially released yet. You can try it, but functionality is limited. Akiflow is now about $12 a month. It's more than a typical To-Do app, but given its features, it's reasonable. Okay, you probably know AnyDo. It's been around for years. Last week, I downloaded it for the first time in like 5 years, but I was shocked because it looked so different now. In a good way. Now it has this home screen where you can see all of your lists and workspace, which I believe is for working with teams and sharing stuff. Also, I was happy to see it still has this Plan My Day button. It's really useful because you can review your to-dos, including overdue ones, and schedule them into your calendar. This way, you don't have to worry about forgetting any of them. But it now has this calendar mode with multiple view options like agenda, day, and week. This makes AnyDo perfect for anyone who just wants a simple to-do list and calendar. And it's really cheap too, about $3 a month. Sorted is another one of my favorite planner apps. It's not for working with teams or sharing, but if you plan to use it for your own personal tasks, it probably gives you a better scheduling experience than other apps like AnyDo. A special thing about Sorted is that it makes it super easy to put to-dos into your schedule with just a few taps. I love the animation too, and then adjusting the time for each task is also really easy. You can use something called Time Ruler to retweak the time. Another cool thing is the auto schedule feature that literally fills your calendar with the tasks you have automatically. It's not always perfect, but it does save you some time. But sadly, it's only available for iOS. The most core features are free, but it costs $14 to use features like auto schedule. Alright, this is the last one in this planner category, and it is Sunsama. It is somewhat similar to Akiflow in the sense that it can link to various apps like Gmail, Notion, and GitHub, so you can turn it into a hub for all of your to-dos. Something I like about Sunsama is that there are multiple view options for calendar. You can switch to 1 day, 3 days, a week, and a month. Having a month view is actually very useful when you're making a long-term plan. Also, there are many rituals, which are things like daily plan, daily shutdown, weekly plan, weekly review, all of which are handy to stay organized and reach your goals. But it costs $16 a month, which is not so cheap, although it's understandable for its quality. Now, another great way to organize your tasks is with a Kanban board. It is a great way to visualize what tasks you're working on, what's done, and what you're gonna have to work on next. I personally like to use it when it comes to managing my content on Notion. So the first tool is Notion. Of course, Notion is not just a Kanban board app. It's so versatile that it can be anything. Honestly, I don't think there's any need for explanation because everybody knows it. And there are many videos and tutorials on how to build things on Notion. So let's move on to the next one. Like Notion, ClickUp is a super versatile app that can be used for any purpose, but it's more focused on managing tasks, tracking progress, and collaborating on projects compared to Notion, which focuses on taking notes, organizing content, and building databases. I find it overkill for personal use, to be honest. There's a bit of learning curve too. So if you like to tinker and build a complex productivity system, it's great. It has many features including Kanban, a Gantt chart, timeline, and so on. The timeline view is especially useful when you're working on medium to long-term projects. Actually, along with the board view, I also use the timeline view on Notion to manage my content schedule. It's something normal to-do list apps cannot do. But if you want something simple and light, this is probably not it. Taskade is a relatively young product, but they are developing super fast. It's in the same vein as Notion and ClickUp. It gives you different ways to organize your tasks, including a simple list, calendar, board, table, mind map, and Gantt chart. I think these are useful, especially if you work with teams. Also, recently they added Cascade AI, which now helps you summarize, make an outline, and other things. It's more of a writing assistant, not for managing tasks, but it's nice to have. Trello is another classic Kanban board app that lots of people and companies use to manage their tasks. If you're a fan of the Kanban board and find the other apps too overwhelming and complicated, Trello is perfect. It's super simple and can be used for anything. I remember I was trying it out to manage my uni work, like preparing for exams, writing essays, and finding jobs. You can make a board for whatever you need to organize. The best thing is that it's completely free for personal use. Okay, I've tested many to-do apps for this video, but Stripe might be the most surprising one. I can't believe I didn't know this app before because it's really good, especially when it comes to reaching your long-term goals. It introduces some new concepts like Horizon and Climb. Horizon is where you can see your goals in different periods of time, such as in a day, week, month, quarter, year, and life. I think this is amazing to be able to see all of them in one screen because it's easy to forget your goals. You can write your lifelong dreams and then break them down into smaller goals for each year and month. I think this is a brilliant idea and design. And then Climb is like a list of challenges you can take. It can be a habit you want to build, such as waking up early and no sugar challenge, which is my favorite. But there are so many of them to choose from. I put Stripe under this category because it mostly uses Kanban board for managing to-dos and projects. They have lots of templates you can use and you can create tasks and notes for each board. But you can also schedule these tasks in your calendar very easily. So it's kind of like to-do list / calendar / Kanban board app. It costs from $8 to $20 a month depending on the plan you choose. Now, some people like to use the Eisenhower Matrix to organize their to-dos. It's a very useful technique to help you identify which ones you should work on, especially when you have tons of things to do. There are a few to-do apps that support it. One is TickTick. TickTick is definitely one of the best to-do apps out there. It not only has a standard to-do list, but also a calendar which has multiple views like day, week, and month, Eisenhower Matrix, Pomodoro focus timer, habit tracker, and so on. Some of them are premium features, so you have to pay around $3 a month, but it's very cheap considering its quality. Even if you don't use the Eisenhower Matrix, you can get a lot out of it. Another great option is Amazing Marvin. This is such a unique app. It might be the most customizable to-do app, and it actually packs even more features than TickTick and about 99% of the other to-do apps. Perfect if you want to build your own dream to-do app. It starts as a super basic to-do list app, but you can see the list of features you want to add and toggle them on. There are things like Eisenhower Matrix, Daily Planner, Agenda, and Habit Tracker. It's like going to a candy store as a kid. So if you've ever thought, I wish my to-do app had that, or I wish it didn't have this feature, you can just build it yourself with Amazing Marvin. But of course, it's a little more expensive than typical to-do apps. It's $8 a month. Oh, by the way, another reason why I use Amplenote is that it has Eisenhower Matrix built into it. It's called Task Score, and it uses the matrix to assess the importance of a task. And then it automatically reorders your task list based on the score. This is very helpful for people who are too busy to organize their to-dos. Okay, so far I have talked about apps that brand themselves as to-do apps, but now there are some note-taking apps that can offer all the to-do features you're after. The benefit of tracking to-dos in a note app is that you have one less app to buy or learn how to use. You can also work on your to-dos in the same app that the to-dos live in. Here are some of the best note-taking to-do apps. Todos is one of the best free note apps with a to-do list and calendar. It's like a Google Keep with a better task management system. You can take memos, write down tasks, make lists for groceries, movies to watch, and so on. And also check your schedule. It's such a simplistic and useful app to have. If you just want a simple app where you can manage your tasks and note, this is a great option. Noteplan is also a great note app with a calendar and task, but it offers more advanced features. For example, it's super easy to time block your tasks into your calendar. Also, its note-taking feature is really good too, because it supports bi-directional linking, meaning you can link notes together. Both of their web app and the mobile app are excellent, but unfortunately it's only available for iOS, and it costs about $9 a month. Speaking of linking notes, Amplenote has very advanced note-taking features too, including bidirectional linking, note sharing and publishing, deep tagging, and a plugin system that makes it easy to set up AI to help you write and manage tasks. It is available for Android, iOS, and web. I think it can be really powerful to be able to do research and note-taking alongside to-dos without switching between apps and potentially losing track of tasks. Okay, Evernote is still a great app in my opinion. It's a pretty good all-rounder where you can take notes, organize your documents, clip web pages, and also manage your tasks. There's now this dedicated section for to-dos, and you can set due dates and reminders. It's a little bit basic, but probably enough for many people. And then if you're a hardcore note taker, you can even manage your to-dos in apps like Logseek and Obsidian. They can be harder to learn, so you might have to spend some time getting used to them, but they're hands down one of the best note-taking apps. Okay, this might be one of the longest videos I've ever made. You might be more confused about which app to use because there are so many of them, and some of them look very similar, but I really hope you found a few you like. Most of them offer a free trial, so make sure to try them by yourself and let me know if you found the ones you like. My personal favorite is Amplenote, obviously, because it's an all-in-one app and cheap, and I have many videos about it on my channel, so don't forget to check them out if you're curious. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and let me know if you watched it till the end because I want to know, and I really appreciate you watching it. Cool, thank you, and see you in the next video. Bye!